Okay, wow.
You're live.
We are live. We're alive.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
I'm sure people have been wondering.
Exactly, because we have been non-existent for a while, the whole summer pretty much. We got into a project that was never ending, and we'll get to all of that in this video, but we have a lot to cover. So if you see our eyes glance down, we have a computer screen with like an outline
for you guys.
Notes. But this is just going to be a sit down with your friends, Ben and Beck type of video, and share what happened in our lives this summer. That's the gist of it. No drone shots or overlaying of B-roll or voiceover. Just
the three of us.
Yeah, just a chat session. All right. So there's a lot to cover, and the only way to do it is in chronological order. So as far as the YouTube channel goes, we just left Baja and gave you a tour of my hometown of San Diego. But from there, my mom actually broke her arm in the day after we crossed back in. So we went and helped mom get her set up for success and on the journey towards mending. And that was about a week and a half or so helping her. And then we went up to help Rebecca's mom on the Central Coast of California.
Yeah, I had promised to help my mom take care of cleaning out some storage units that my grandparents had. And so we planned on being up there about a month, and that's what we did. Mom and I actually had a really good time, like this kind of walking down memory lane, going through all their things. And then there was a lot of work just organizing it and getting it all dealt with.
Yeah, and while you were doing that, I was editing Baja content. But we do have some pretty big news for us. We're producing a web series with Daimler Auto Group to promote van life in their Mitsubishi Fuso line of vehicles. It's going to be a video and blog post series. Pretty amazing. And this
kind of been a long time in the
Yes,
making.
It has. And it has survived COVID. And I say survived COVID because we were talking about all of this before COVID. And then the world went through this adjustment period, and now it's getting back on track. And if not for the dedication of some of the team over at Daimler, this project would not be happening right now. And we're very excited to get our content distributed on a global platform. If you hear some diesels in the background, well, that's because we're at a campground right now.
But it's going to be first season is a series of 6 videos and 5 blog posts. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
We actually just provided the content and they edited the videos, and then I wrote the blogs in partnership with their team, and it's exciting to see it coming out.
It's also interesting to see other people work with your content and see what they produce. It's been a tremendous learning experience, and we'll keep you updated as to when everything is getting released. Also out on the Central Coast, I was working on our documentary from our very first RV road trip in 2015 to 2016. It was 7 months, 19,000 miles, bucket list journey, and it was a major turning point in our lives that we could travel on a full-time, location-independent basis and do so with, at the time, it was Remy and Shelby.
Now it's
little Lucy. But the voyage, or the footage is kind of rough because back then, the story is amazing. It's super authentic, but the footage is all off like a handheld Sony RX100 point and shoot camera.
And the two people in those videos, they just talk and talk and talk and talk. They ramble and they repeat each other a lot. Like they say the same thing.
Yes. Needless to say, it's torturous to work with, but the authenticity and the story as a whole is grand. And we really want to thank our sponsors, Harvest Host and Battleborn, for sticking through this with us. We are still working on the documentary, but there's a lot of pressure. And I know it's just, it could be like one more YouTube video, just only like longer. I'm really wanting to put like my best foot forward on this and also weaving the story. The story is definitely a big thing, because you could have crap footage, but if you tell a great story, you have a winner. And we got the great story. But yeah, it was a major turning point in our lives, and we will keep you posted on when it is going to be published. So, looking at my notes, we were on the Central Coast, and we started talking about the next chapter, like what's next.
So we've obviously, with finding the right truck, which started years ago, then Shelby getting sick, and then COVID hitting, this process to getting overseas has been a long process, and we've waxed and waned between drive south, ship east, ship west. Which way do we go?
But the decision was we're actually going to do something about this dream, because it was June. The virus situation was de-escalating. The world was starting to return to some semblance of normal. We were thinking, we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what we thought.
Well, we're not giving up. The original dream was to ship to Europe, but we, after COVID hit, we're like, you know what? If we can do Baja to Alaska every year, let's just do the Pan American on south. And nothing against the Pan American.
Well, it was always our dream to circumnavigate the globe, then come back to South America and drive the Pan Am all the way home to Alaska.
Yeah.
Because that would be really cool.
But the draw of visiting Europe first would be just the sheer volume of cultures that we would be able to experience in a very short period of time and relatively small geographic area.
Well, plus we've spent a lot of time in Mexico. So it would be nice to experience
some more languages other than Spanish. Yeah. All right. So we also really want to do Europe, because we can't fully commit to this dream of driving around the world, I think, until we get off this dang continent.
Where we can't drive
home every time. Where when the doo-doo hits the fan and we just tail between our legs, let's go to the home base in Alaska. Mm-hmm. When we can't do that anymore, I think that's going to be a major turning point.
Well, the other thing, too, is once we're in Europe, then Africa is right there and Asia is right there. Like, we'll spend ample time in Europe, don't get me wrong. But when we're done, it'll be an easy transition to the next phase.
Yep.
It's just getting across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
That's a big job.
And this dream is not easy to accomplish. It is full of challenges. Like when we first got the truck, it was the last year of our little dog Shelby's life. That was extremely trying to honor her through that period of time. And also during the summer of COVID, money wasn't growing on trees. Like our Airbnb in Alaska was pretty much, hey, we're live streaming, Lucy.
This is Lucy. This is her new thing. She's like at everybody.
Yeah, Lucy. Yeah.
She's very protective these days.
So our Airbnb in Alaska was knocked out of commission for 2020, and we decided to not put it into commission for 2021 because we were uncertain about what the tourism climate was going to be like in Alaska. Were we going to go home for 12 reservations and be, in our minds, stuck up there because we've spent a lot of time in Alaska. We now want to travel. So we made the decision that let's just not run the Airbnb, stay in the lower 48 and get the truck ready.
Yep.
And like we're talking like a minimum of about $12,000 to get us and the truck across the pond. That's the roll on, roll off shipping, fuel to drive across the country, insurance. Once we put the truck into the shipping process, then our home on wheels is gone.
Pay for a place to stay.
Yep. And then it's going to take flights 3 to 4 weeks, flights to Europe for it to get there. Then we're going to need a place to stay in Europe once we are there. So logistically, there are a million other things.
Well, in a normal year, there are a million logistical wheels that all have to get in sync. Add COVID to the combination, and then it really gets sticky.
Yeah.
Been a lot of planning and preparing.
Definitely. So winter of, wow, we didn't do this quite in order of my notes.
No, we didn't.
But winter of 2020 to 2021, we ended up going to Baja. No surprise. It's our happy place on this continent. It's great, but we really did open up the dialogue down there about what to do about the Airbnb and what to do about our dreams, which brings us up to the summer of 2021.
So one of the big things we felt like we had to have in this truck with the places that we want to go, and it's our personal preference. Everybody's different, but we really wanted air conditioning and habitat. We're going to go to hot places, and the whole reason we bought that truck was so that the weather didn't chase us. And the winter weather doesn't chase us anymore. We can go to -20 and we're fine. But now we get over 85, 90, and we're pretty miserable.
Yeah, it just gets way too hot in that box, and you just can't sleep at night when it's that hot.
So we've been looking for a long time for the right air conditioning unit. And one that's been used over in Europe for quite a while finally became available in the States, actually because of the anti-idling laws for truckers. But it's a 12-volt air conditioner that runs off of our solar and our Battleborns, and it's a Dometic. We have a whole install video coming about it, but that is how the renovation train got started. We decided we're going to go ahead and do this install on the air conditioner because it really has to happen before we leave home. And that led to, well, we've taken apart some of the truck. Let's go ahead and do some of the paint and wallpaper.
You've been wanting to do since before we
promised I could do before we bought the truck.
But it was always just a matter of, well, I'm sure as heck I don't have time to go doubling up work. So let's wait for a project or a time when we have to do something, just because, just face it, I'm busy, she's busy, you're busy. We want to travel and not work on stuff, so it just got put off, and everything was functional.
Oh yeah.
It was just not your color preference.
Bingo.
It's all your color preference.
That's right. So we decided some wallpaper, some new flooring, some paint, and then I pulled the flooring up. And maybe we should back up a little bit about where we went and stayed while we did this.
Well, yeah, we did the air conditioning install at our friend's house in Ramona, and then California, and then went down to my dad's in San Diego, California, because we needed a place to lay our heads while working on this project that we thought would take 2, maybe 3 weeks, casually do it, no big deal. We did have some water damage, and this is where it starts to get ugly. The water damage, there was some right by the door from our grab handle for the stairs. It had been leaking for years. I know that now.
Before we owned it.
Yeah, but it had never been in a crappy, rainy climate like Seward, Alaska in the fall. Like 40 inches of rain in 2 months. That pretty much ruined the subfloor by the door of the camper. It was softish and just, there's a hole there.
And we filled the holes and we dried out the floor.
Yeah, we dried it out.
Yeah,
but
it was, we bleached it to make sure nothing was nasty growing in there. And so that was kind of taken care of, other than we knew the flooring needed to be addressed.
But then we removed a wall in the hallway, which gave us like a peek to the backside of the bathroom and shower area.
Mold back by the bedroom when I pulled the flooring up. And so then we pulled the wall off, and we found a major mess.
Mold and mushrooms were going in there. We had more than just one water leak. There was another minor leak around like the caulking around the cassette toilet, but that was nothing compared to the little bit of water that would leak out of our water tank. Like our 40-gallon water tank, it has a 6-inch inspection cover on it, and the fitting, it's kind of like if you know what a bung is on like a barrel, it's that, but it's like 6 inches. But there's a fitting where the cap threads into. Well, there was this product that the plastics guy that we took it to get fixed, he called it monkey shit.
Really?
Yeah. There's like, he said, it's in the industry, we call this product monkey shit, and it works horrible. And well, so needless to say, every time that the water tank was full, it would burp out a little bit, like a few tablespoons of water. And this was added up to be a tremendous leak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bottom line, tremendous leak. All the way down to the subfloor, all the way down to the studs, and some of the studs got replaced because they had gotten mold and water damage.
The studs?
The studs, the walls.
Oh.
Like the...
Yeah, we ended
wall parts.
But that'll all be in a renovation video.
Another renovation video coming up for you guys. So what was a 2 to 3 week cosmetic project turned into a 3-month, almost just shy of
we were not being lazy. We were working like none other. And in your mind, you think, disassemble the bathroom, replace the subfloor, reassemble it, 2-3 weeks max. No. Doesn't work that way.
Well, it took 2 weeks just to get a new shower pan, for example. So
and
like things really
there were delays and curing times, drying times. There was nothing quick about it.
Which is why we've been pretty silent this summer.
Yeah, there was just nothing left to give at the end of the day.
We worked long days. It was hot in the summer in San Diego. So we would come inside, take showers, maybe eat something, and fall into bed every night. Both of us. We worked so hard on it. And so that's where we've been all summer.
And, the virus situation has changed since June. We're not giving up on our dream, but we're also not very thrilled at the prospect of not being able to go to Europe and having to drive around this country again.
We're still...
Yeah, and we've done it 6 times. Well, it's for 6 years, and I know that sounds like, oh, poor you. You got to go RVing or van lifing or overlanding around the country again. But, when you're a traveler, you thirst for new experiences. And this is just Big Ben, Parliament, Big Ben, Parliament.
It's also something we've been working towards for a long time.
And it always has been the dream. And the vehicle part has made it more challenging.
Because we can't just fly over.
Yeah. Well, we could, but
the truck can't.
We were dog people. And at the time it was Remy and Shelby. Now it's Lucy. But we're dog people, and we want to travel with our dogs. Or dog.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, I think, a very sustainable lifestyle where we have the truck, and so we always have the same bed at night, and we have our place to go and our safe spot.
Yep. So how's Lucy been doing? She's been great. She's about 10 months right now, and
tomorrow is 10 months.
Been like the easiest puppy you could ever imagine. She's
easiest puppy we've
very
ever had.
Well behaved, smart. Yeah, wants to please you.
She's so much fun too.
Yeah. She lights up a room and she's oblivious to all the BS going on in the world. Right, and like, she's not stressing about shipping to Europe. She's just living in the moment. And that's what we like about dogs.
Yeah. She's lots of fun. Yeah. She plays with toys with you. And then if you are like, no, go play, she just entertains herself.
She self-soothes with her toys as well.
She's a bit of a picky eater right now is the only complaint I could say I have. Is
when she's
going through her toddler phase where she's like, no, I don't like that.
It's not toddler stage per se. She's already gone through a heat cycle, so she's a woman.
Oh, well.
But yeah, towards the end of her heat cycle, she just became a very picky eater. And
it's persistent.
We're helicopter parents after all the drama with Shelby, so we it was another puppy. So we love her. She's been a great addition to our crew. So the renovations are finished. They did take us so much longer than expected, but we're on the road again. Friday, we left San Diego area, drove through the deserts at night to avoid the brutally hot temperatures, and now we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, visiting the parents. Rebecca's mom, she full-times at a motorhome. She's parked next to us. Actually, we're parked next to her because she was here before us.
Something like that.
Yeah, so we're gonna be here for a day or two, and then we're gonna head to Kansas, but hopefully
to see my dad.
To see her dad. This week, we're gonna make a reservation for a boat to Europe. That is gonna be a big one.
And our plan at the moment, unless the shipping agent changes our mind, is to ship the truck out of the Houston, Galveston ports.
It could be Baltimore. That's another major port.
If something like we can't get onto the boat that's going out this coming month or whatever, he gives us a reason not to go to Houston or Galveston. But logistically, it would be easier for us out of Houston or Galveston. And then I found plane tickets that are comparable to what it costs off the East Coast to fly to Europe.
But we've committed. Yeah. We've just about made it to as far across the country that Benny starts not being all that happy. I'm very much a west of the Rockies person. National forest land, BLM land, wide open spaces, less humans. It's more my vibe. I admit it. But
I like the East Coast too. I'm not picky. I like lots of things about it.
Yeah, there are some good things about it.
Mm-hmm. But ideally, we just get to Europe instead.
Yep.
The truck will take about a month to ship. So our intention is to fly right away so that we don't risk any changes and restrictions happening over there. And then wait at an Airbnb there.
And so what's next for the channel? Well, I have about 300 gigs of footage to sift through and edit into probably 4 to 5 renovation videos. So you got the renovation as a whole, the new toilet. We got a separate tiny, like a separating composting but not composting toilet.
It's from Sweden.
And
it's kind of cool technology.
Subfloor replacement for water damage, because that was a learning experience in itself. The air conditioning install. We got a lagoon table mount. I don't know if that's going to be its own video or not. It's
probably just be part of the cosmetic
renovation video. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is where we're at. We hope you had a very good summer and just staying safe and making the most of life.
Yeah. So and we're excited to be back on the road and be back to sharing our lives with you guys. And we are thrilled at the prospect of being able to take the next step in our journey towards our dreams.
Yep. So I guess the explanation is just doing the best we can. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Bye.